We're presented by WynnBET. Betting is a team sport. Bet together at WynnBET. Eric Allen here in the studio, joined by Jets inside linebacker CJ Mosley. Great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
When the schedule came out very recently and you saw the Baltimore Ravens, the home opener, what did you think?
It was an exciting feeling. I missed out on the opportunity to play in Baltimore. So we got opened up September 11, a home opener at home. So it's definitely going to be an exciting game. But more importantly, just excited more for the opportunity. It's been maybe 4 or 5 years now since I played with Baltimore. So, that hype is going to always be there. But when I step on that field at the end of the day, I'll be happy with a W. I don't care how many tackles I have. I don't care how many plays I made. But if you come out the game with a W, that's all that matters.
What do you think the environment is going to be like at MetLife Stadium for week one? I know you got a lot of work to go before then. But just after this offseason, it was year one under Robert Saleh last year. Big additions, both in free agency and the draft. And everybody's raving about the culture and what you guys are building. What do you think it's going to be like to be there?
Everybody's going to be on the edge of their seats from start to finish. That's the mentality that's kind of been set this year, like you said, with the free agent signings, with the people that we got in the draft, with the young guys, with the culture change. Everybody's saying this is the year. You all know how that goes. But honestly, just being here in the locker room, being around the guys this offseason, everybody really feels that energy, really feels that this can be a special year. But we all know it's going to take a lot of work. And like you said, this is just the beginning of what we're trying to accomplish. And if everybody stay the course, continue to do the right things on and off the field, believe in each other, and we can go as far as we want to this year and for more years to come.
How charged up was MetLife your first game there in 19 against the Buffalo Bills?
It wasn't one to forget, I'll tell you that. It was a lot of fun. The crowd is always into it. From the first snap, it was rocking, and you love to have that momentum on your back. You love to have the crowd riding with you, play in and play out. And you really just felt how offense, defense, special team were just clicking and vibing off each other. Defense get a stop, offense went out there and handled their business. If offense didn't get a touchdown, special teams put the defense in a good position. So it was just a lot of complimentary football going on that game. And when you really can click like that and finish out games, that's when you really know you got something.
Well, we're going to talk much more than just the schedule. But what did you think when you saw the AFC North in 4 consecutive weeks to start the season?
Well, honestly, for me, it's like another season. I'm used to playing those 3 opponents, year in, year out. But it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test early in the season. The first 4 games of the season, a lot of mistakes can happen. Teams still figure out what they like the best, what personnel, what things that can happen. So for us, we just got to make sure we come out precise. We come out and do our best, try to play mistake-free football, and try to be a team that can really close our games and handle situations really well.
How do you simulate playing against a guy like Lamar Jackson? And also, with that being said, does it help you guys to face in an offense that's so unique like that in week one, because you do have the 3 or 4 months before knowing you're going against them?
Yeah, it's not easy. He's a unique player, one of a kind type of player. Even when we used to go up against him at the Ravens, it was hard to try to emulate what he does. It's hard to do. That's why he's one of the best quarterbacks in this league. But honestly, it comes down like what I just said. We have to, once we get our game plan that week, do our best to execute that game plan. This is the NFL. He's an MVP quarterback. We know what type of plays he can make with his feet and with his arms. So at the end of the day, we do our best to try to stop those explosive plays, knowing that they're going to be a heavy run team. Try to stop the run and make them one-dimensional, and just get everybody to the ball once you get loose.
You got a milestone coming up. I don't know when we're going to air this podcast, but we're taping here in early June. You're going to be turning 30. What do you feel about that?
I was like, I got a milestone. What's going on? I'm blessed. I'm blessed and honored, to still be sitting here, still have guys, looking up to me, and for me to still be able to grow as a player and as a person. I came into this year not satisfied, with what I did personally. Obviously, not satisfied with the season that we had. Not satisfied with where our defense was. And I still feel like I found ways to improve myself on what I'm looking at each play, how I can improve in this defense, what I can do to, help everybody get in better positions. And that's the unique thing about this game. The older you get, you think you know it all, you think you've seen it all, but it's always something. This game is always evolving. It's like a game of chess. You just gotta. The offense is going to do something to make the defense have to make up a whole new game plan. So each year that the NFL, goes on, each year that offense get better, players get better. The defense has to find a way to, counter those offensive coaches. And I think starting last year, I really took a lot of pride in and really trying to, study the offense compared to, what the offense coordinator does. So when I make a play or when we make a play, we make a stop. It's not like, no, we're not just stopping the offense. No, we stopping the offense coordinator too. So it's when you think about it like that, it gets really fun.
How much more advanced mentally are you now at this point compared to the guy who was drafted by the Ravens?
It's night and day, honestly. I relied a lot on my techniques and just be able to feel the ball and see things, but just eliminate that one step, those two steps, that back pedal. When you take one or two more hops that you need to, that can put you on that break or that interception right there. I mean, it's amazing when you really lock into like your job and what you have to do. Then obviously once you get a feel for the defense and you know what you're doing, you can start looking at pre-snap recognitions and looking at formations. There's just a lot of little things that you're gonna lock inside your game that can put you to that next level.
What about instincts though? Because the book on you always coming out was you were instinctive. But with that being said, you're talking about not taking a false step here or there. How much do instincts play a part in the game?
It plays a lot of part of the game. One, when you're talking about players being coached and playing football, you don't want to get coached so much where you're not making football plays. If you see a running back a line wide, just because the say stay inside, he about to run out. You want to get a little outside and anticipate what's going on. So I think when it comes to studying and just kind of knowing what's going on, it's the anticipation part. If you see something, you see it, maybe something you studied, maybe something that you saw on film from the player that he might do. That's when your study habits come into play. Like, all right, instinctively I know it's 3rd down and 2. This running back might get out. But now that I see that he's a little bit cheated outside the tackle, now I can really get out because I know what's coming. So just little things like that can really put you on the next level.
Was last year your best season in the NFL? I mean, you're a multi-time Pro Bowler. You're a guy who people say throughout your career that he's one of the best inside backers in the game. With that being said, how do you rate last year in terms of individually? I know that you didn't have the team success you guys wanted.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was my best year. As far as stats-wise, yeah, I was making a bunch of tackles, but that can be good and bad. If you're making a lot of tackles, I mean, you might be on the field a lot, something else. There's a lot of things that go with making a lot of tackles, so I don't really, rate my season based on tackles I've made. I really think far as last year was my best far as being mentally prepared each game, knowing what the offense is doing, knowing what to expect out of certain formations, reading run formations, seeing routes formations, just little stuff like that. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but when you break it down like each day and you go about it one play at a time, it really slows the game down for you. So I think last year was probably my best, like mentally locked in I've been.
But what's your next step? What's even another level that CJ Mosley can go to at age 30?
Bring everybody with me. That's what this has been all about. Getting the right guys in the building, in the locker room and outside the locker room, to really believe that we can do something special here. And I think that I know and I believe that that we've been doing and the people that we brought in as far as the free agency, the rookie class that came in, they've been great. They've been working hard. And I feel that if we just stick to what we know, stick to the things that we've been taught, really believe in each other, really work and really trust that we can be special, and there's no doubt in my mind that that's what we'll be.
We've talked about it before that I don't think there's any greater award than your peers saying that you're the guy. Mm-hmm. Last year you were voted team MVP, and you said that you wanted to take yourself to a different level in terms of leadership. What did you do last year? What do you want to do this year?
Honestly, last year for me, it was, I want to say, more of a proving ground. But I haven't played in 2 years, so I was really focused on me doing my job, me doing the right thing every day, me coming to work and providing the guys with the right mentality, right attitude. Try to have my best game speech for Sunday. It was a lot of me's, and as you can see, I'm not a selfish player. I don't play that way,
No.
but it was a lot of stuff that I was making sure that I was doing right. So now that I know I'm good, it's time when you talk to the D line, when you see something, you yell it out. So make a long story short, just really being more vocal. Even though as vocal as I am, that's becoming more vocal, becoming more comfortable being in the uncomfortable situations, whether it's in the team room, whether we're meeting, whether we practicing and talking on the sideline, just any little knowledge that pops in my head, me trying to share with somebody.
That's interesting. You talked about communicating to the guys before a game what you were going to say. What goes into that? Is that like a Saturday night thing, or?
It's an all week thing. It was my first time, really, getting the huddle in for every single game. I took over the first game. I was like, all right, I got the first one, and it just happened to be me every single week. So I had to make sure I had something good, to keep the guys going. And you think it's easy, but when things not going well, when you're hurting, you're losing, you're traveling, all these different things play a part in yourself, and try to keep yourself mentally focused. But it's not about you, as long as I know at the end of the day I'm doing my job, so I'm not ever like worried about me having a bad game. So I want to make sure that I'm saying the right things, my body language is right for my teammates and for my coaches. So anything that I say is coming straight from the heart, from the mind. Like when we played the Bills in the last game,
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was gonna be freezing. So I started watching Gladiator because we had the night game. So I need something. I need something because I'm not about to wear any sleeves. It's gonna be cold. It's the last game. I need to get my mind right. So I'm watching Gladiator. Kind of hear little quotes here and there. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. The guys might like that. So just a small example is something like pops in my head. Or I see a quote or I hear a quote. Or I jot it down and try to figure out a way where we can, just mix it and match it with, our lifestyle and football and our family.
WynnBET is now live in New Jersey, and they're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports, from boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport. They have what you need to win. Sign up today to receive a special offer, risk-free $1,000 sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com to start winning. WynnBET, an official sportsbook and gaming partner of the New York Jets. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Speaking of Gladiator, do you like the way you guys went out last year in that game against the Buffalo Bills? Because that was a roster depleted.
Mm.
You were, especially on the offensive side of the ball, you guys were dealing with like 6th, 7th, 8th receivers, that kind of thing, injuries across the board, and you gave yourselves a chance to win defensively.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt that was probably our best defensive game that we had. As far as just guys being on the same page, especially me and Quincy. He had his hands on, I think, two footballs. So we always joke about him when he dropped a pass out there. Like, all right, you know what that looked like. You drop him in practice, you drop him in the game. So, but honestly, it kind of clicked at the last minute. I mean, we saw the same stuff, but some reason things just started to click. You started to get it at that process. But we really felt comfortable. We felt inside ourselves. We felt comfortable with the game plan. So that's all we've been trying to do this offseason. Really hone in on what we want to be, how we want to look, and what kind of mindset we want to bring to the table every day.
Quincy said this year it's imperative for him not to just be looking for the big hit, that he's got to start coming up with takeaways. Is that something that you guys talked about?
Yeah, that's one thing that we talked about a lot in this offseason. Us communicating more, talking more, building our relationship. Obviously, off 1 year it can only go so far. So just been in the system twice with him. We started to know each other's tendencies. We started to, I would say, react better off each other without extra movement. One thing I talked to him about was his film study. Just being a young linebacker, young player. It's not that you don't want to watch film. Sometimes you don't know what to look for, so that might discourage you. So I told him, like, if there's anything that you want to look at together or watch film with, obviously we got it. But honestly, I've seen him be a lot more vocal than he was last year. And like I said, that's comes with him being in the system a year, so he's a little more comfortable talking to the rooks, taking them under his wing, whether it's, being out, going to eat with the young guys or just being in the practice field, like coaching them up and telling them what to do. So just seeing that part of his game is a positive, because that's all that's going to do is relate to when we get on the field, when we get in action. He's going to be more vocal. He won't be uncomfortable, talking in situations, because when it gets long 10, 11, 12 drives and I still got to make the calls, I'm going to be a little tired. So that's why I need my partner in crime to, help signal the call or give a call to a couple of the players. So it's gonna be a great and fun year for him.
Your partner in crime, are you surprised that a guy like Quincy Williams is on the waiver wire? Or that's just life in the National Football League? Sometimes it just doesn't work somewhere else, and you find a place where you're going to be able to take advantage of your talent.
That's just life in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's how things work. One thing that you can't control is the card that you've been dealt once you get into this league. But you can't control, your work ethic, how you approach your day every day, how you attack the day, your mindset, your attitude. All that plays a part, no matter what number you are. Because at the end of the day, if you are working the next man, if you're doing things the right way, you're going to find yourself, like they said, dressing on Sunday.
Michael Carter was in this very studio a couple weeks ago, and he said that I watch CJ Mosley, everything he does. And he mentioned George Fant as well, and then Tevin Coleman as far as that running backs group. But what does that mean to you that Carter is a running back? He says that he looks up to Mosley. He calls you an OG and says, this is the way you're supposed to approach the game.
Well, that's one thing about the milestone, about turning 30. You see the cycle of life change in front of your eyes in the NFL. Even another side story. Wild Goose is Dumerville's nephew. I think nephew or uncle. Nephew, I think. So I played with his uncle.
Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah.
I played with him at Baltimore, 14, 15, and now I'm playing with his nephew. So he was saying like, yeah, man, I used to watch you when you was at Alabama when I was in middle school. I was like, middle school? Like, what? So that really, every time I hear something like that, that puts in perspective, like, this is pretty cool. Like a lot of players, bust their butts and give it their all for a few years. Unfortunately, they get cut short or injuries or something happens, and a lot of guys don't see that all the time that they spent being the young guys and the vets and the old heads and the the older coaches that looked out for them, that helped them out, that tried to do the right things for them, and kind of how that molded them into the player that they are now, and vice versa me, and now I get to just sprinkle all that right back out. The same lessons that I was taught, the same things that I used to hear, the same quotes that I used to hear. Now I still find myself quoting Terrell Suggs sometimes. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing, honestly. And like I said, and it's a blessing that I can still be here and provide that insight, provide that mindset, the winning mentality, whatever word you want to think of. Like I feel like I can be that person mentally and obviously physically on the field that can help bring players and team closer, because I've been in a lot of situations. I've seen a lot of football, and I've been honored to be around a lot of smart coaches and systems.
You got to endure a lot physically to play linebacker in the National Football League. And we come back to your age and say, okay, he's 30 years old, but is age changing across the board in professional sports? Meaning, you look at a guy like Steph Curry. I remember coming out of the draft, and I still think of him as a young guy. He's going to be 34 years old. Mm-hmm. You look at LeBron James. He's pushing 40. You're talking about Tom Brady, plays a totally different position than you, but guys playing at 45. Does that speak to how well-conditioned guys are now, but also the mental preparation and just people know what to put in their bodies, and they also know how to study a lot better than maybe that we saw in past generations?
Yeah, it's a collection of all of that, and I'll also add that I think it's a lot to do with how the game has changed and evolved, as far as the way players are being practiced and how much time we spend on the field, what we're doing with our bodies. It was a lot more physical even when I was a rookie, especially before I was in the league. far as the things that was going on, off-season programs and all that. So just the rule change and just how things have changed and evolved in the league and around all sports, it's more player friendly, and it gives player a longer time to play in the league. It gives that player that longevity. So I'll definitely agree that it's a collection of all those things.
Who are guys you like watching?
Just as far as in general, or
Yeah, as far as the NFL. Maybe you appreciate the linebacker position.
Yeah.
Or you mentioned Suggs before. He was a former teammate. Maybe a defender who is retired now.
I like watching Edwards for the Bills. Who else? What's another linebacker? Davis with the Buccaneers.
Yep.
I also try to watch linebackers that are kind of in our system, because then so if they're playing somebody that we playing, I can kind of see what they're seeing, or seeing what kind of move or techniques that they're doing to try to put me in a better position. So that's another thing that I started last year. I never really watched film on other linebackers, as far as to study, like, what are they seeing, what are they doing. If I was seeing them, it was just because I was watching film on the offense. But like I said, man, it's always one little thing where you can find to try to get better. So, but yeah, that was actually really cool, because I definitely stole some tackles off some other linebackers' reads. So
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome.
Okay, so you mentioned it before. You talk about, hey, I know everybody's saying we got improved talent, but I know we actually have to go out there and make it happen. Is that something that you have to tell the guys in the locker room? I don't think people are going around the facility celebrating him right now. But with that being said, they are hearing that you guys have had a good offseason.
I don't think so. I think we do a good job of not really listening to the outside noise, because at the end of the day, we haven't won anything. We haven't done anything. We definitely gotten better on paper, but that's not going to be anything until we put our pads on and really get to work and see what we can do when the live bullets get flying. So you hear the good draft every year. You hear it's our season every year, no matter where you are.
Yes.
Everybody wants to win. We want to win. They want to win. We all want to win. But we're going to come down to those key moments this season, and we're not going to know when that's going to happen. But we have to be ready for it, and that's why we practice. That's why we prepare for situations, so we can be ready for it.
What puts you over the top in key moments? What separates the teams that are going to win double-digit games from the teams that are struggling to get there?
Yeah. Well, one is the turnover margin. That's the first thing you always hear. Who can win a turnover battle, and I think too for us as a team is just being the best as we can be at situational football, whether it's 2 minute, 4 minute. Starting drive, backed up, all the little things that plays a part in, successfully winning the game. And I think if we can, we're going to win most of our games is when we, play great situational football and control the turnover margin.
What do you like most in terms of what you're seeing out here on the practice field? We're in voluntary activities right now. This is phase 3, but you're ending the off season by all accounts. I mean, for all purposes, next week with the veteran minicamp.
Yeah. The thing I like the most that I've been seeing is, be a little biased, just our defense. The speed that we have. Obviously, we're young, but our secondaries is really just flying to the ball. Seeing a lot of turnovers, a lot of interceptions in these OTA practices. Like I said, most have been like 7-on-7, so there's only so much that we can do. But we haven't seen that a lot. You see those playmakers, and you can't tell a playmaker what to do. They're gonna find a way to find the ball, and that's all you need is that one chance. So if we can get a lot more interceptions, a lot more fumble recoveries on defense, put Zach in the offense in great position to score, then we can, we're really gonna have a chance to do some great things. So, but that's one of the main things that you can definitely notice. If you go out there, that secondary is really flying around. And Ahmad is doing really good. Yeah.
You're smiling. You're saying Ahmad's doing really good.
Yeah.
So break it down for us. Why are you so encouraged? I mean, he was a number 4 overall pick in the draft, so we knew
I was laughing because his name is Ahmad. We're not calling him Sauce.
Okay, I like that.
He's a rook. So once he make a play, maybe in the preseason, we might give him Sauce back.
Yeah.
So Sauce is for the fans.
But what do you like about him on the practice field?
Right now, just pure raw talent. obviously he's getting his coaching down and he learned the techniques. But it's sometimes when you see it, you see it. And today was one of those days where it's like, all right, we good. We in good hands. So he was making plays. They was throwing the ball to him, but he was making plays, what you're supposed to do. But like I said, man, it's just exciting. Like I said, when you get in a position, that I'm in, you got a chance to really, turn the organization that hasn't won in a while, all from a complete 180 from not winning to really being, contenders. And that's really that's have to be our mindset or nothing's going to change. So that's the exciting part about it. We got a chance to do something special that's going to change the lives of kids, families, and the NFL for the next 10 years if we do it right.
WynnBET is now live in New Jersey, and they're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports, from boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport. They have what you need to win. Sign up today to receive a special offer, risk-free $1,000 sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com to start winning. WynnBET, an official sportsbook and gaming partner of the New York Jets. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
What do you think about the dynamic of the aforementioned Ahmad Gardner and DJ Reed? Totally different body types, but they bring such a competitive juice out there. DJ Reed is a guy, he'll fight anybody, any day.
Yeah, you would think he's the same height as Ahmad, the way he plays, the way he presses. But he's a guy that doesn't finish until the whistle's blown, and he's a technician. And you love to see that, no matter what time it is of the day, he's either working on some moves, getting some treatment, doing a little extra work. He's doing something on the side. And, that's one of the things that encourages you to try to get better. Like, all right, if he can do something on an off day or a time where we got a little off time, maybe I can do something too. So that's, just if you've been a leader or, you consider a leader, it's not always about what you say. It's always about, the things that you're trying to do, but sometimes it's what you do, not behind closed doors, but, you can be in the building and people not know that you're still working, and they come across that and see that when they're about to get ready to leave out the building. It's like, you know what, I think I should do a little bit of work too, or that make a player want to come to you and ask like, hey, when you're doing this, what do you see here? Or when you're working on this, why are you working on it here? So, just little things like that that get guys in the, right position, right mindset, and connected.
Was free agency cool for you from the perspective is you've been in the National Football League for a number of years. You've played in 3 postseason games, and then you see Joe Douglas go to work. He gets a guy like Jordan Whitehead who has a championship ring. He's used to playing in big games with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You mentioned DJ Reed before. He's got some playoff experience on the other side of the ball. You can talk about CJ Uzomah, just played in the Super Bowl. Langston Tomlinson, who was part of a build himself in San Francisco. So these guys, young veterans, but also guys who've won before.
Right. The key thing is they've won before. So they've seen it done right. They've been in the system that's done it right. And they've been around players that have done it right. So if they don't see things being done right, it's more easier for them to point it out compared to players that have come from organizations where things have been a little more lenient, or some things haven't been, or things have been ran uptight. Depending on coaches, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's when you've been around winning, you know how to win, you coach to win, and you do the right things to win. When you see things that'll make you lose, it's easier to point out. So I think that was a great thing that we did with the free agent that we signed. A lot of guys that came here to win. So that's most important. They came here to win, and they want to win, and they want to win here. And that's all you can ask for when you suit up with your teammates.
What do you think about the numbers up front in front of you? If Carl Lawson is back, we're anticipating him to make his appearance back on the field here at the start of training camp. He's busting his butt to get back. He was so dynamic during training camp last year. You obviously add Jermaine Johnson, trade up in the first round to get him, get a guy like Michael Clemens. Solomon Thomas is a former first-round pick, a top 5 pick, who's familiar with the system. I know he brings that veteran presence as well. Jacob Martin bringing some speed and explosion off the edge. What do you think about what's going to be in front of you in 2022?
Well, our defensive line is all about attack. So if nothing else, they're going to attack the line of scrimmage. So I never have to worry about that part. One thing I've focused on, another part of making my game better and getting better in this defense, looking at how the guys in front of me get off the line of scrimmage on different types of run and play action passes, because we're going to be in a situation as a linebacker where because our offense are first to get downhill, we're going to be in positions where we can get caught by offensive line. So just knowing that is step one to put yourself in a better position as a linebacker. So for me, it's me eliminating key reads when I know I have a pass run conflict. If I know I'm not getting a certain pass or I know I'm not getting a certain look, I can be a little more fast in my gap or slower in my gap depending on the call. So I think that's just going to be like those next steps in evolving in this defense and being able to play off our teammates. But when it comes to the defensive line and our pass rushers off the edge and our big guys up the middle that can still pressure the quarterback, it's really just going to be about letting them play and getting to third down. And
on paper it's going to be really hard in third down situations against this team.
To get in the third down, third and long, getting in those situations where we can really let them go and have great coverage in the back end, because obviously with great coverage comes more sacks. So we cover the guys in the back end, cover the intermediate routes, and let the guys that we pay to get sacks.
What's Robert Saleh like with you specifically? Because not only was he defensive coordinator before he was head coach, he's a long-time linebackers coach.
Yeah, we have a really good relationship. I guess I do things good enough where he's not coaching me as much. Yeah. But if he sees something, or if he see a certain drop or a certain mechanic that I can do a little better, he'll come to me and tell me. But honestly, besides that, it's pretty cordial. Check on the family, ask who's good, everybody good. There's a little football talk here and there. He might crack a joke, but he usually. He's a head coach now, so he has to talk to everybody a little bit more.
Yeah, in those talks to everybody, do you like being in his meeting room? Everybody talks about his presence, that you could feel him.
Yeah, especially when he's talking.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of those guys, when you talk, he listens. Player coach, great. He's respectful, respects you, respects your time. But he only asks a few things. All gas, no break, and it's that simple. And if you believe in him, he'll believe in you. You protect the team. He'll protect you. If you do the right thing, he's going to do the right thing by you. And that's really all you can ask.
How much you appreciate your defensive coordinator, Jeff Albrecht. He's a guy who played 10 seasons in the National Football League. He lives by that motto, too, all gas, no break. He's out there all over the place.
Yeah. I remember actually watching him when I was a little younger. So I definitely remember his name. The Mohawk. I think he had a neck pad back in the day, but he's just one of those. That's just the style of NFL it was back then. The big burly guys just getting downhill, trying to knock each other's faces off. But you see how the game has evolved, and you really see his passion for the game when he's coaching, when he's trying to put us in the right position. And he's been in a situation to win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Some people might forget about that. So that's exciting for me, because I know the system works. If you do the right things, if you make the right plays. So with Brick, with Coach Saleh, with Coach Rudy, linebacker coach. Yep. It's a whole family. Ricky Manning Jr., like all the guys, they're all connected. That's one thing that a lot of players and I wouldn't say fans, because they don't really know, because they're not in the building, but a lot of players take that for granted. Is the coaches and their connection, how much time they spent together and the other places that they've been. So it's a lot of history with a lot of our coaches at other places. In the past 10 years, even our team Chapel he was coaching against Coach Rudy's team in high school. Like, I found that out last week. So it's crazy, like, what sports can do, as far as connections and who it brings you to and who he brings it back around to. So I think it's a special thing that that obviously that we evolving as a team, but our coaches are evolving as well.
All right, yeah, Rudenberg and Aaron Wycott, and the defensive line coach, were together at New Mexico State long before they started their NFL careers. I want to get final thoughts here on your second-year quarterback, Zach Wilson. Everybody's talked about him coming to camp, a little bit more muscle on. He's about 221 pounds, things like that. What's his next step?
I would say, especially for quarterbacks, is always that year one or year two jump with the recognition. What is he reading? What is he looking at? Obviously I can't tell you because I'm not in the room, but I think that will be the next step for him. He's going to take care of his body. He's going to He got the right people in his corner that's gonna tell him to do the right things, and he's gonna do the right things. But like I said, when we get on the field, it's always going to be about his recognition and being able to control the football. And if you can do that, and like I said, we can control the turnover margin. We're going to be in 9 out of 10 games.
He's always been a confident guy, but
Yeah.
do you see something different than the kid who came here last spring after being drafted with so much on his shoulders?
Yeah, when you're a rookie, and obviously the number one guy, the quarterback. This, that, and the other. It's pressure all the time. And on top of that, you learn a new system and a new league with new players and all these other things. So just from year 1 to year 2, just that he's going to be less jittery about the playbook part. Like, he knows the playbook, he knows his players, like he knows the system. So that part, I feel like he can, I won't say relax, but he can be more confident in. And it's not like he's just, I got to learn this new play today. I got to learn this new play tomorrow. We got a whole new thing coming in next week. Like, he's seen some of these things already. He's seen these formations. What we're doing on defense is we're not taking it easy on. We're really trying to make him make the right reads. Put hands in his face, all type of things. Like we say, try to make him uncomfortable being comfortable. So, I think year 2 around, you're gonna see Zach Wilson, number 2, making a lot of plays on his feet, being in the pocket, making plays, and taking care of the football.
Let's end here. Let's go to Alabama. How much would C.J. Mosley coming out of high school have made if NIL was going back then like it is now?
Well, I still am a defensive player, so it would have been nice, but it wouldn't have been no quarterback.
Okay.
AJ and Greg McElroy would have took all that. So we have some all stars on offense. You got to think about Julio. You got to think about Ingram, Trent. I can keep going. You got Amari. Yeah, we'll have crumbs compared to those guys.
You still would have made a pretty penny. And then on a more serious note, can you talk about giving back, how much the community means to you? Because you're going to go back here after veteran minicamp concludes to do your annual camp.
Yeah, been in athletics most of my life, always been honored to be a part of the community, always giving back, and even with my family, we always find ourselves giving back or being in the community. So for me, it's always good to give back, not just for myself and for the exposure, but you just never know what that person or that kid or that family might be going through that day, or what they've been going through, and just you being there can give them signs of hope, or whatever that you're hosting, it can put them in a better position than what they were when they first got there. So that's really my reason for giving back or being in the community or participating in any kind of charity events that I do. And as far as my camp, it's been 2 years now because of COVID. So it was going on for 3 years. So I think this will be the fourth or fifth year now. But it's my annual football camp that I do back in my high school in Theodore, Alabama. I'll be hosting it June 23rd. It's one day. We have two practices and a little 7-on-7, because that's like the new thing now. Everybody loves 7-on-7, so that'll definitely get the kids going. And what we do is Saturday we always have we call it an all-white party. So it started off just everybody that participated and helped. We just celebrate each other. It's just almost like a family reunion, because it's a bunch of friends and family, coaches, the teachers that help from the high school. All that type of things. But over the years, we started doing charging at the door, but all the money and all the proceeds went to a family in need, whether something the hospital paying for a bill, disability, anything like that. So I'm not sure like what we have for this year, because my parents and my mom, dad, and me, we all figure out like who we're gonna choose for this one, but that's usually how it goes. So it's pretty cool, and it just really turning into something like right in front of our eyes. It's low key.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, as you approach a birthday 30, happy birthday. Yeah. You got a lot to celebrate. Enjoy your summer, and we'll be seeing you back here soon.
See you real soon. Appreciate it.